Hi friends, today Newsroom 24/7 is presenting the story of Indian Space Research Organization. It is also popularly called ISRO. ISRO has been in news in recent months mainly because of the Chandrayaan-2 mission. The main objective of this mission was to soft land the moon lander Vikram and use the robotic rover for collecting samples and conducting tests on the surface of moon and sending the reports to the ground center. As far as this objective is concerned, the Chandrayaan-2 mission has been a failure. On 7th September, it was early morning. At the scheduled time, when the lander was supposed to land on moon, the control center was packed with everybody who mattered in ISRO. Even the Prime Minister was there. At the ultimate moment, when the lander was supposed to touch down, there was a sudden glitch. All communication was lost. When there was total gloom at the ISRO headquarters, at the control facility, ISRO Chairman K Sivan even wept. When he broke down, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was present there, gave him his shoulder, consoled him. He even rose to the occasion and boosted the morale of the ISRO scientists by telling them that don't be disheartened by failure. Scientific research and failure, they go together. It is only by failure that we take lessons. It is by mistakes that we commit that help us chalk the future course and help us in taking giant leaps in future. The Prime Minister's encouragement notwithstanding, Sivan did not lose time, and he was quick in telling the media soon thereafter that the Chandrayaan-2 mission was 98% successful. Now anybody would know, and it does not require rocket science to conclude that when you fail to achieve your objectives, it is a failure, and we do not weigh it by percentage of success. And this is exactly what has happened with the Chandrayaan-2 mission. It is true that the Chandrayaan-2 mission has placed the orbiter in the lunar orbit, but this is a feat that was achieved 11 years ago by ISRO with the successful launch of Chandrayaan-1. After Chandrayaan-1, ISRO had decided to go for Chandrayaan-2 with the twin objective of soft landing the moon lander and using the rover to conduct tests on the surface of the moon. And this is where the failure arises. Even prior to the lander's scheduled soft landing, Sivan had done everything to create a hype, and his focus was building his own persona and personality and building his own image in the backdrop of the Chandrayaan mission. And what he had done was, he had very methodically used the friendly press to convey the message about his humble beginnings, to convey the message that he is a farmer's son. But this gambit did not pay, because there were other scientists in ISRO who were farmers' sons and daughters. They had also started giving interviews to the press. Sivan was very hopeful about the success of Chandrayaan-2. And all the hype that he had generated was with a purpose, and it was geared to promoting his own personality. And when everything failed, he started lying. He lied even to the Prime Minister by telling that the lander was intact, that the lander was safe. It is only that we have lost communication. But he never had any photographs to prove the point. When Sivan's gambit has failed on every count, he has now embarked on a new journey of self-promotion. Only the other day, a large section of the media was flooded by reports saying that Sivan travels economy class, Sivan is a very humble person. Now this relates to Sivan catching a domestic Indigo flight, and Indigo doesn't have a business class in the domestic sector. And everyone in ISRO knows that Sivan is very particular about traveling business class and first class whenever he is touring abroad. Within ISRO, there is a lot of resentment against Sivan. It is being said that he can't tolerate bright and intelligent colleagues. And this has been proved by the fact that soon after assuming office as head of ISRO, he shunted about 100 scientists left-right. He also changed 4 directors and replaced them by his own men. So the charge against Sivan is that he has demolished the middle-level leadership in ISRO. This is having a negative, spiraling effect on the performance of this great organization. Everybody in ISRO is talking about it. There are 4 directors that he has appointed, placed them in important positions, and their paramount qualification is that they all belong to his community from Tamil Nadu. This is now a serious matter. In order to hog the entire limelight, in order to take the entire credit for the Chandrayaan-2 mission, what Sivan did was that he delayed the launch of Chandrayaan-2 by 2 years. This was initially supposed to be launched. It was ready, all elements were ready by early 2017. And the main purpose behind this was that he wanted to ensure that the 2 main architects, the Director, Space Application Center, and also Annadurai, the moon man, who rose to fame with the successful launch of Chandrayaan-1, he wanted to see that both of these people were no longer in the frame. While Sivan managed to remove the Space Application Center Director from his post, and he saw to it that Annadurai retires before the launch. He could have ensured that Annadurai, since he was for long associated with the moon project, gets an extension, but he didn't favor that idea. He wanted Annadurai to be out of the scene. To justify the delay, the cryogenic engine meant for Chandrayaan-2 was burnt with 30% overdrive against a permissible limit of 10%. Its weight was also increased to bring in GSLV Mark III instead of GSLV Mark II. The Chandrayaan lander's configuration was also changed from 4 thrusters to 5, with an additional thruster at the center, which finally led to the failure of lander Vikram. Sivan had also tried to stall the indigenous high throughput satellite HTS GSAT11, which was the brainchild of the Director, Space Application Center. The purpose behind recalling this satellite from its launch pad in French Guiana was that it had to be destroyed and replaced by Hughes Jupiter HTS. By putting it in the same slot at a great cost and also risk to national security. As the Director Space Application Center, the man behind this satellite, he objected. He was removed from his position. As no fault could be detected in GSAT11, Sivan was compelled to ask Arianespace for its launch. But Arianespace extracted a huge cost for this by compelling ISRO to simultaneously go for the launch of GSAT-31 and 32. And this cost ISRO a staggering rupees 950 crore. If GSLV had been used for this purpose, the cost would not have exceeded rupees 400 crore. ISRO insiders point out that Sivan was installed as ISRO chief by the Devas lobby or the Devas gang. It comprised of M.G. Chandrasekhar of Devas, his godfather Kasturi Rangan, a former ISRO chief, and M.G. Chandrasekhar's nephew Kiran Kumar. It is common knowledge, and people in ISRO are talking about it, that the Devas lobby was behind ISRO not paying attention to its case against Devas, which went to the International Court of Arbitration at The Hague, challenging the termination of agreement between Devas and Antrix, subsidiary of ISRO. And it is alleged that successive ISRO chiefs, including Sivan, they ensured that the case was handled by incapable lawyers, and as a result, ICA has slapped a compensation running into thousands of crores. The Devas Antrix case is a clear indication and looks like a swindle game, so much so that the CBI has even registered a criminal case against Madhavan Nair, another former ISRO chief, in the Devas Antrix case. More on ISRO would follow in the second and concluding part of this series in coming days. Thank you.